Hey friends, Andrea Chantiglia here, and I wanted to just take you through one of my pre-recorded class demos from my Monday Zoom class. So here we have a still life where we start off with a linear drawing, and I guide you through that entire drawing step by step. So we talk about drapery, we think about putting in our symmetrical vessel, and our very organic placement of all of our grapes. So if you notice, I'm working on a toned paper. This is on pastel mat, and the entire thing is completely pastel, soft and hard. Next, I show you how to accomplish a metallic look where we put in a little bit more of a tonal element of drawing. So I'm using here just a dark to put in all of my values from shades 1 to 10, and just thinking about form, taking that linear drawing, that coloring book style, which is what I refer to it as, and make it a little bit more realistic just by thinking about what lights and darks make everything stand out from each other. So going across all of the grapes, we talk about putting in a value for our background. We think about putting in values for even a light object like our white drapery. There are still going to be a whole range of values that happen there, because once again, it's really the values that make things stand out from each other, not a line separating it. So next we go ahead and we plop in all of our very extreme white lights, and here we kind of go a little overboard with it just to kind of claim their space, because they will get eaten up a little bit sooner than later. So I like to go a little bit larger with them. Then going into our reflected color, metallic objects are literally just a mirror. So you have to think about what's around it. You have to incorporate those colors within your subject just to make it look not just three-dimensional, but also making it look a little bit more like it's a part of that atmosphere. So those are elements that you can choose to embellish or choose to be a little bit more subtle with. Now, of course, the type of metal will determine if you're going to have soft or hard edges, so we discuss that in my full-length tutorial as well. Color is a very, very elaborate subject. So in this particular demo, I showcase how to think about a purple grape, a red grape, and utilizing other colors within that instead of just a lineup of one color with different values. So we talk about incorporating blues for some of the highlights. We talk about incorporating purple's opposite color, which is yellow, as it's going to be a great way to neutralize your purple instead of using something like gray or brown, which can cause it to sometimes just look a little dead. And from there, we really just kind of go grape by grape. I always tell my students to draw less grapes than they think. Make them bigger, make them juicier, because once you get a couple grapes under your belt, you're kind of like, So we do all the grapes here, varying the different color tones, different values. Not every grape is going to have a highlight. Not every grape is going to have the same amount of blue or the same amount of neutral yellow incorporated into it. So you're going to think of every grape as its own individual in a way. So that is the part that kind of just, takes a little bit more of a methodical approach. Some people like to put all of the darks in at once, then all of the lights in. I personally really enjoy get to know the grape. I know that sounds silly, but I love to get to know the grape in a little bit more of a personal way. Just kind of thinking about what's next to it. Why is it going to stand out? Is it placed in the back? Is it going to be against the background? Is this grape going to have a soft edge or a hard edge? Those are all elements I talk about in this tutorial, where we want to think about hard and soft edges. Soft edges will recede and hard edges will come forward. Now, even though I wasn't completely done with my grapes, you can see that I started to put in my background, because your background is going to affect not just the color, but the value of what your subject portrays. So by putting in a darker background, which is what I would like to do, I was able to see that my grapes are going to stand out pretty nicely against that. Now, if you are someone who is scared to go a little bit lighter or scared to go dark, I always say don't be scared of the dark, but if you have a tendency of staying a little bit more in one realm of value versus another, then this is going to be a good challenge for you, because you're going to force yourself to go nice and light, and you're going to force yourself to go nice and dark and get that full range of values from value 1 to 10. So now this is from my live class. So it is a pre-recorded, a live recorded recording of my weekly Zoom class, which I do every Monday from 12:30 to 3 Eastern time. So if you would like to join that weekly class, the registration is available on my actual website. So you can check that out. You could check out the tutorial on createandinspire.art, but you can also check out all of my in-person and live workshops, which are sometimes there, but also I have them listed on my regular website, which is agillustration.com. So texture and smushing, okay, that's a very important thing that I love to talk about as well. I do go over that in my pastel techniques course, which is over on createandinspire.art as well. And of course, always incorporating a color. And if you know me, you know that I love purple. So not only are the grapes purple, but that nice, beautiful, rich blue violet in that background, that just draws out all those hidden blue undertones to the grapes and the shadows. It visually makes things more interesting, and it just gives a little more spice to the background. Instead of just having a plain dark background, you want to always add interest. So that can work both compositionally and just a nice little fun touch to incorporate any color that you feel that you want as, I call it, a comfort color. Now for me, the purple is a comfort color. That's my go-to. My motto is, when in doubt, just add purple, because I feel like it works in so many scenarios. But everyone has their colors, everyone has their techniques, and that's what I feel is so important about this particular tutorial, and actually any tutorial, any art journey that someone is on. I feel like it's important for them to know that theirs is not going to look like mine, and mine's not going to look like theirs, and that's okay, because we are all on our own creative journey, and as long as we're creating and as long as we're happy, that, my friends, is all that matters. So feel free to check out this full tutorial over at my website, createandinspire.art, and I would love to see what you create.